What up? What up? Late Night Live. This is episode 29. I'm your host, the Garage Gamer. And we are live on YouTube and Twitch and Ace of Jack's Media Grounds YouTube channel as well. No Twitter tonight, no X. Elon Musk wanted me to pay him $10 a month to do live streams, and I think it's kind of BS. So maybe when we get bigger, we can redo that. So I apologize to all my ex viewers out there. We did get few over the last several months, but yeah, I don't really want to pay Elon another $10 a month to get a blue check mark to be able to live stream. So that's where that's at. So just a heads up, guys. But anyway, Dathan, 8-Bit Gaming Legend, how are you, sir?
Good. Good evening, class. Hope everyone had a good week and ready for some weekend gaming.
Yeah, Dathan's got a cat out early tonight because sounds like he's got to work tomorrow early. So we will hopefully we'll get to some juicy stuff before you leave. Hopefully, Travis, how are you, sir? Looking good.
Hello. Good. Yeah. Busy work day because of the tech news. Other than that,
Right.
Yeah. So I'm a little scattered right now. So
I was worried my computer wasn't going to turn on just now, but it did good.
You're good on turning on. It's a matter of accessing cloud-hosted platforms. So I didn't know whether a podcast would be a go. Actually,
Yeah.
So, but people are turning around. It's right now. It looks like I'm getting notifications that people that I know are finally getting things resolved. So
Oh, good.
Back to normal probably tomorrow is my guess. So
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then Ace of Jack's Media Grounds, Chris, how are you, sir?
Hey, good. It's been a fun week, and college football's finally out.
Right. And we hear you may have gotten it.
Yes, I may have.
Awesome. And Saying Spirits is in the chat. Have to get up early for the classic Game Fest in Austin tomorrow, so I'll be dozing off to the sounds of your angelic voices. Excellent. Well, that's all right. Thanks for having us on, sir. And yeah, that sounds like fun going to a Game Fest in Austin. They get pretty crazy, I hear, right? Never been there.
Classic Game Fest.
I went camping last week, so I was gone Sunday through Wednesday. So I tried to catch up a little bit. The cell service wasn't the best, but it's been a great week because, man, 2 major releases basically today. And I guess college football, well, technically there was a I don't know what you call that, trial or whatever, if you pay the extra $30. But I think Dathan and I played it free from Xbox Game Pass. They gave you a free trial through EA Play. So, yeah, that was cool. So, but let's go around the horn. Did you guys play any video games last week? Dathan or Chris? Yeah, go for it.
Sure. I finished up. Oh God, what did I play? I played quite a bit this week. With college football, there was the NES World Championship. Let's see, Callisto Protocol, No Man's Sky. I kind of jumped back into.
Dang.
Played a little bit of Final Fantasy 14. I'm still trying to get caught up on all the.
Were you off this week?
No. I worked this
Dang.
week, but
you're doing good.
A little time here and there playing games isn't. It may add up over the week, but I'm almost done with Paper Mario Origami King on my Switch. At the very end of it, so there's that. But
Your brother's here.
It's been good gaming news this week, and I finished the Acolyte too.
Is that over?
Yep.
What?
They had the last episode on Wednesday.
How many episodes were there?
8.
Well, is it worth Is it worth finishing?
You know, the writing was pretty bad across the board, but I would say as far as like the newer Star Wars shows they've had on Disney, this probably has some of the best action sequences out of all the shows they've done.
Huh,
Um,
interesting.
so it's kind of a give and take, but that last episode they don't answer any of the questions that they pose throughout the series. So like all the major things that you're kind of like, oh, they're going to answer this by the end of the season. Nope, they don't answer any of it.
Yeah, I figured as much. Anyway,
So
Travis, did you get to play any games last week?
I did not play what I was hoping to get to, which was finishing up the Harry Potter. Instead, I just focused on more casual games, being that my time to game was mainly in the gym when I was catching a break from work. So yeah, no, not a ton.
That's all good.
Yeah. I'm hoping to maybe tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how that all pans out.
Yeah. And Dathan,
What
what'd
did
you
I
play last
play?
week?
I actually played quite a bit. I'm about probably a few hours away from finishing Sea of Stars. That was
Okay, sweet.
That was the beginning of the week. And then obviously Nintendo World Championships for the Switch and the 10-hour trial of college football 2025. That's pretty much where I'm at. I maxed out the trial. I haven't actually played the disc version yet. And with the Nintendo World Championships, Eric, this is for you if you're watching. Your copy is here. It's for you, buddy. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Now, since you're leaving early tonight, I want to talk about Nintendo World Championships, but I also want to talk about college football. Which one do you want to? I know we've been talking a lot about college football, but we can. Do you want to dive into Nintendo World Championships first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I got some video of me playing it today, and maybe you guys can make fun of my times, or maybe not. I don't know. I think I'm okay. So let's see. So this is the opening thing here. I love this. Between the late 80s and early 90s, the NES championships were held all across the world. The obstacle of visiting the venues in person may have made it difficult for many of you to see these spectacles firsthand, and some of you face an even greater obstacle you're not ready for yet. That's awesome. So I had to put that in there. But man, this game feels really good. I have a couple minor gripes, but for the most part, this game is addictive. So
it really is, because it goes by so quick.
Yeah.
You know, and you can just do a quick trial in some of them in less than 2 seconds. And then it's on to the next one.
Well, there's some longer ones.
Oh yeah.
But like this one, this Kirby one, I'm playing my wife here. That one only lasted 2.5 seconds.
So is this co-op? Like you're playing and your wife's playing on the other side?
We're playing it simultaneously, co-op at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this one, I think my wife beat me, so this is why I put it in there. By 0.02 seconds, she got the Tanuki suit, so she gets more points. So that's cool.
So when you play, so I don't know if you played solo yet, but when you play solo, it shows like your best time will be on the right, and the actual live play will be on the left side.
Right. Well, then
to see how high you can post on the flag.
Right. Well, this one, this next one, here we go. This is how fast you can beat World 1-1.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I'm doing this is their World Championship series, so you don't have that side by side view. It just shows you your fastest time right on the left there.
Yeah.
But
I think that in this one there are five challenges that you have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
This is for like the leaderboard, the scoreboard is what this is. And you have there's a tie. I think it's you have 1 week to get you can play them over and over and over again. And you have to get your best time will count. And then once it's over, then it'll show you where you are on the leaderboard.
So let's see if you guys can beat 23.66. That's I think that's pretty decent.
This reminds me a little bit, not much, but a bit of the arcade mode in Doom, in the Doom remake that they did. I don't know if you guys played with the arcade mode, but basically you pick a level and you just see who can score the highest. So it's like a leaderboard per level. And that was pretty cool to sit and chart against people that were up there. It was a different type of challenge that I'd seen first person shooter in a long time.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same concept.
Yeah, that's cool. And so when you post on this goes to the internet, right? Like it's got is that correct? Like it's got like leaderboards that you can track just worldwide, right?
I think it's only the I don't know if it's each individual one, but I think it's just the 5 that they do for the challenge. I think.
Right.
Okay.
That's one of the main gripes right now is it's too retro. The leaderboards aren't on everything. So
I see.
I can't go in there and exactly like if Dathan's my friend, I can't exactly go and find him right now and see where he is on World 1-1 completing it.
Yeah, that's
compared to me.
Say we should be able to answer your question, right?
Yeah, it's a very Nintendo thing that they did, and
very much so. So what you can do is you could screenshot by pushing the screenshot button on your Switch and then sending the screenshot to whoever, and then you can compare them, side by side that way, and like, oh, these people got the highest score, but that's a little bit too much.
What is that game retailing for?
$30.
Oh, that's not a bad buy then.
Yeah, it's $30 for the base game and $60 for the collector's edition.
Yeah, that's not a bad buy.
And $87 right now for like the Japanese version. Special edition, which I haven't got yet, but it's coming on the boat.
And it actually, I saw some unboxings of that one, and it is quite a bit. It's a little bit better than the US version. I think it was put together better.
Interesting. So I say for all of us that have it, and maybe Travis, you go get it, but we do that main challenge for the week that has those 5 games or those 5 little mini games, and we see where we're at the end of the week with that leaderboard. I'm not sure when that main leaderboard will come out, but let's see where we rank on that one, at least for now, and I'm curious who has the best time.
You guys would kill me because I have a million experience.
That's all right.
It'd be funny if I actually won.
That one actually ends on the 22nd, so Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So it actually says down below that the current leaderboards and everything will show up Monday. I don't know what time Monday, but they'll have new challenges after Monday.
And on Switch, you can do digital download, or do I have to rush out and go buy it?
No, you can do digital.
I haven't touched my kid's Switch at all. So so like I set it up and then I walked away. That was it. I still have the Zelda game to plow through at some point. Yeah, because they won't do a PC port for that, apparently. So, yeah.
Shocker.
I know.
But Chris, you played it a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I played through the championship mode, the 5 there. And I've done quite a few of the speed runs. I think I'm just about done with the Excite Bike ones.
The ultimate question is, what controller are you using to complete these challenges?
A banana.
Okay, fair enough.
Whatever gets the job done.
So, do they, if you have no experience with these games, like I have none, right? Do they give you like little instructions on how to game as a base?
Before you start it will actually do a demo of what you're supposed to do for the challenge.
Oh, really? Okay.
So you can, if you've never done it before, you can kind of see what you're supposed to do and race and then press start and basically do the challenge. Or if you're somebody who's played the game before and you kind of have an idea, you can ignore the demo and just kind of jump in.
Yeah, I guess
there was a Zelda challenge where you had to go get a heart container, and it actually
Right.
had the arrows like pointing and where you're supposed to drop the bomb, and then you go in and grab the thing.
I could have sworn there was like a Nintendo Power kind of ish diagram in the game somewhere to complete some of the challenges, but I haven't found it yet. Maybe you have to buy. So it gives you coins every time you complete a challenge, and you can buy things like your profile icon and
Hmm.
some other things. So I wonder if that's in there. Not sure
I
yet.
thought you meant to actually legit go buy it like old school.
Yeah,
Like,
If
Nice.
they did have one, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
you would.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, sign me
for
up for the Nintendo Powers again. Like you could get back on the monthly subscription.
You have to
Absolutely.
call that 900 number in order to get
Right,
the
yeah,
the
yeah.
You know,
clue
it's
on
funny
what
because
you're doing.
all of the promotions for this, it was like 80s, like people on the phones.
Yeah.
And they were showing like black and white pictures and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
Well, what's funny is my kids were talking about that movie, the Long Legs movie or whatnot. I guess
Mhm.
for a promo for that, they have a phone number to call, and you can listen to a recorded message of the guy, of the villain in the movie. And I was like, you realize, kids, that we had this when I was in high school, and it died quick, right? And they're like, oh, okay, well that must be where they got the idea. I'm like, whatever, just recycle stuff. You kids will be into it, you know. So yeah, they could just totally bring back Nintendo Power, walk you through how to set the high score on this, and move on.
Absolutely.
but man, look at that.
Oh, that looks
gold.
cool. Yeah.
That's with the collector's edition. If I keep it straight here, man, it's so nice. And it comes
You
with
know,
the sleeve too. I don't have this.
Back in the day, they made gold cartridges for Nintendo, for classic Nintendo games, right? Like,
Right.
didn't Zelda come in like an off color or whatnot?
Legend of Zelda had a gold one.
Legend of Zelda had one. The Quattro 4-pack had one.
Okay.
The Japanese Punch Out had one. Famicom,
Mhm.
that one had one. And obviously the 26 Nintendo World Championship gold carts. Back when this whole thing was a thing in 1990. I think there were 26 gold cards. And I think that's it.
So how many do you have?
Huh?
How many have you managed to track down of those cartridges?
Of the Nintendo World
Like,
Championships? Or just in
no,
general?
of the gold.
The gold
and
carts.
Oh,
all
just
that. Yeah.
Like,
are they hard to find?
There's Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and then the Quattro one. The Quattro's not licensed, so I don't have that one. And then I think those are the only ones. But yeah, they're basically just show and tell.
Delicrian says the Nintendo Power-esque ones show up as options on the much harder challenges.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I haven't done the really hard ones yet.
So
that's what I remember. Yeah.
That's what they're these.
Nice.
So are those hard to track down, Dathan, or are they?
No, these are
okay.
fairly,
They were all over mass market.
You go to you can go to any retro game store now and you could find them in there.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll see if I can pull it off a digital download or whatnot.
For sure. And then Dathan, you got the hat coming. The hat you have to buy. You had to buy the hat, but you had to have 1,200 the platinum points on Nintendo's website. I was like, oh crap, how far away am I? I had like 600 or something. So I did have to do all their stupid challenges. Like I had to download Super Mario Run. I had to get their Animal Crossing app. There was a lot of weird, but I got to 1,200 somehow. My God.
Yeah, I had to. I was at 1160. And then, so when I put the Nintendo World Championship game in my Switch, I opened up the store, and you get, if you played Lost Levels on Switch Online, you got 50 points immediately. So I played that, and it popped up, and so it gave me over 1,200, and then I bought it right after that.
Oh, nice. That was easy. Good.
Yeah.
I'm at 1130.
Oh, you can get that.
Oh, you're right there.
Have you go ahead and like link your Super Mario Run account or whatever, and you'll get it.
I didn't know those expire too. They expire like every month after. So you probably have until the 31st of this month to utilize those.
Yeah.
I just never use them.
No, no one does.
That's the one thing.
There's usually nothing good to buy with them.
Not like there used to be.
Right.
No.
But overall, yeah, this is going to be a fun game. So I feel like this game was put out there for our generation, which is
Absolutely.
it's crazy. Like I
Well,
feel
and
like
it seems like it scratches that itch of just quick in, quick out, right? Like
Yep.
if you
yeah,
20 minutes to kill or even 10, you can just pop on your Switch, right? I'm guessing just in portable mode and just
Mm-hmm.
give it a shot and kill some time that way, right?
Yep.
What I like about the casual games I was playing last week, it's the same sort of thing, right? I don't feel like it's like, oh, I have to go boot something up. I'm sitting in. So no, that's cool. That's attractive to me.
I also don't think there's like a specific online 1v1. Like if I want to go online on the Switch and play against you guys, I couldn't see you right there. I don't know, maybe that's another technology like that would need like rollback netcode or something, or I don't know. They just wanted to
I'm
avoid
okay
that.
with I'm okay with what they have now, but I would like to see like a group function or like a friend function so that you're able to set up a group or something that you can compare yourself to just a specific set of people instead of the entire country.
Well, you'd think that they would have included something to kind of compare, to basically reenact what you had in the arcades back then, because I'm guessing that's how these challenges worked, right? You showed up to an arcade, 5 people, said, hey, see if you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Maybe it was actually on the Nintendo console itself that you would have done it. But you'd think that they would have figured that out to where you could say like, hey, I want to group these 5 people together, and together we're going to take turns trying this and watch each other while it's our turn. They don't have that in that. Is that right?
No,
and it doesn't look like it. So I guess
that's a miss.
I guess once on Monday when the initial 5 challenges is over, I guess we'll kind of see what it is, if you can look for people or you can set them apart, or how that's going to work. So I guess we'll know a little bit more then.
Yeah, but it'd be nice if you could do it live. Like if you could say, like, 3 of us are online together, let's each try a challenge and watch each other until it's our turn and go from there, right? Like you're taking turns in the arcade.
Yeah.
If you guys have a good run on something and you're really proud of that video, save that video and you can send it to me. And also anyone else in the chat, like if you want to share something, maybe eventually we make a Discord or something. But it'd be fun to share everyone's scores, since there's not an exact easy way to do it right now. But
right, and I really want to make sure that Eric gets his copy, because he's going to be all over this stuff. So this is right up his alley. And to be honest, he does have a little bit of time on his hands. I think he'd probably smoke us all. So.
Yeah. It is. These are challenges, but it's even more of a challenge when you got a 3-year-old daughter like hitting you or jabbing you on the side with her like little fork that somehow she's got. Like, so I'm just saying that with my scores.
You don't have a garage. You have a garage. Put her in the garage.
I could do that. My
garage time.
All right.
Now, the joke there, real quick, is that my in-laws, they one of my sister-in-law's Japanese, and one of the things that I heard her say to her kid was, and I'll butcher it, but one time the kid was misbehaving. The kids were like 6, and she goes, "Garage-ke," and the kid just starts crying. And I'm like, what did you just say? And she said, oh, garage in Japanese. When he misbehaves, I put him in the garage for 10 minutes for timeout. So I would do that to her kids. I'd look at them and be like, garage-ke, and they'd be like, no, and run away.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So let's go on to college football. Let's see. We still got Dathan for a couple more minutes. Let's see.
Smart tight ends nowadays that they know where the holes in those zones are, and they work with their quarterback and they find them, sit down in them, and make big
and I didn't play at the easiest difficulty. I don't know. Chris played Washington State today or whatever, and you beat them 52-0 or something. But I was playing the Beavers, and they gave me a little run for my money here. The game looks really good.
Does it?
Yeah. Man, we've been waiting for this game for 11 years. The last game, man.
I think it's the smartest thing they've done is hold off on releasing another version. And I don't know if you saw that EA has made quite a bit. They sold 2.2 million versions of the $100 copies.
And then I guess 600,000 people played the trial. So that's not including that.
Wow.
Originally,
So-
I thought that was including that trial data. No, it wasn't. So that's awesome.
I mean, the
Smacked me
gameplay
right
still
here.
looks largely the same. So
Yeah.
has anything really deviated, or is it, if you've played any of these in the past, you just pick up the controller and go at it, right?
That passing thing's a little different, but it's really easy.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is a little bit. The controls are very fluid.
Okay.
The passing, there are I think 3 or 4 different passing control schemes that you can select from when you start.
Okay.
They're a little bit different, so you want to try those out. I think I did the accuracy one. I think it was.
How do they differ? If you have time to explain, like, how do they differ?
I don't know. I know there's one that it controls the arc, I guess, a little bit more, and there's one that you control, like if you're when your QB throws the ball, you have to hit a button to catch it, I think, and there's a little an arrow gauge that shows. I don't know if anything will pop up here if there's going to be a pass thrown, but you throw the pass. Hey, there's like retro cheerleading uniforms too. Where you throw the pass and the little it's like when you're kicking a field goal, the green is like this is a high probability of catching it, and the red is like it's going to be a tough one.
So a quick little mini game of a timing, basically.
I think so. And I didn't play around with the passing scheme too much because I was on the trial and it was timed. So I just played like 5 or 6 games. I just played a couple Oregon games. I wanted to see the Husky Stadium to see if you could see like Washington. You can kind of see.
Yeah.
You didn't get to see it. It was just the inside of the stadium, kind of like Reser Stadium here.
Yeah. One of the iterations of either Madden, NCAA, or 2K, and I think it was 2K, had the throw and catch option, where you played the quarterback for the throw, and then you switched with a button to be the right. Was that? Do you remember?
I think that was NCAA 2013. I think.
Okay.
Remember that
NCAA
a little bit. And I remember
that was fun.
That was the one where if you were the safety, and the quarterback threw the ball to the receiver, and you were the safety, you had to time the button to intercept it.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That was fun. So you think it was NCAA then? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 2013.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing in this one. Then basically they're taking.
Yeah, I think it's one of the schemes that you can pick at the beginning that you're able to do, but you just play around with it, get more comfortable with it.
Yeah,
whatever fits your play style.
That was way fluid. I liked it. Yeah, I mean, not just fluid. I just thought it was more. I don't know. It brought a little bit more intensity to it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going through a lot of the stadiums and just a lot of all the minor details and stuff. I haven't done any like Miami's turnover chain. So when you get or a fumble recovery, they do the turnover chain and stuff like that. And the celebration thing is kind of cool. I think there's like 15 or 16 different celebrations that you can do. I saw one where they were running for a touchdown, and the guy comes up next to you and he high fives right before you get to a touchdown, and they did a really good job with it. It does have a few little quirks here and there, but that's to be expected right from the get-go. But I'm looking forward to see where they take this with updates and new uniforms and how they're going to do the schedule going forward. And I think it's fantastic. It's well worth the wait.
Dathan, check out my team because it played better than I thought it was going to. So my team is the thing where you make your own team, and when you choose your favorite team, you're going to play as Oregon. So Oregon is your team, but you're going to have different players on the team, and you're going to have cards, and you unlock different cards. So I've got some players from other teams that are on my team, but you start doing challenges in the game, and like it starts off easy. Like first of them, like one of the first ones you got to do is make a first down. All right, make a first down. Then you got to make a touchdown from the 30-yard line. Then you got to make one from the 50-yard line. You got to make a field goal. You got to stop the defense from scoring. when they're on the 30 or something, and it gets harder and harder, and they start the defense that they throw at you is a different team every time, so it's not just the same team. So I don't know. Check that out. I'm curious what you
Yeah,
think next week.
I did go. I didn't get into the gameplay of that stuff, but I did see there was like you got to replay some moments from years, and I saw that the 2013-2014 season. I saw that Oregon was on there twice.
Oh, cool.
And then I think they're gonna, I don't know when they're gonna add those into, like later on years, but you've got to play a specific. A big play or a stop or something like that during that game. I think the one that I saw was the FSU Oregon game where they beat Florida State by 10 million points and whatever it was.
Can we get a sack Jameis Winston again?
Or yes, I think I don't know what the challenge was, but it tells you what that Oregon manhandled the rolled over. But on the flip side, during that same season, it said, Ohio State manhandled Oregon in the national championship. So it's right. A twofold. But before I go, there was one question I had. I don't know if you did any of the alma mater stuff, the cards with like the legendary players. Is that a thing? Have you done anything with that yet?
I think they're in there, and from what I saw, like the people that have them, they're selling them for quite a bit of the in-game currency. So maybe I'll go on there now and see what's on there. I believe I saw Marcus Mariota. He's rated like an 86.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter that he was in the mid 80s.
So, but the Oregon's quarterback right now is a 92, I believe, or 93,
something like that. Yeah.
So that's it's like what I would try to go for the current one than him, I guess. So, well, I don't know. We'll see.
So those are collectibles that you can take and trade with other players or whatnot based off in-game you get from beating challenges. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gives you something to do.
But I think we should do an online dynasty and I don't know, make our own conference or whatever. Or we could redo the Pac-12. We have time to think about it.
Yeah.
But
redo the Pac-12.
I like that idea. I like well, that's a good idea.
Or we could just wait for it might be a while. I hear the rumbling is that the Athletic Coast Conference might be going bye-bye pretty soon here. We'll see. So
yeah,
Florida State and some other team won out of that one.
Clemson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But okay, Dathan, we'll let you go.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Have a good week.
We'll go over everything again next week, and everyone have a great weekend of gaming, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
All right, there we go. Cool. All right, I picked up another game this week, you guys. And look at that. The new Ninja Turtle Splinter Fate. It's surprisingly good. So, like, I feel like I'm 3 for 3 this week. This is a roguelike game, so you're expected to die, and then you come back and realize it was a roguelike before. Hades is the big one that everyone plays. But you die. Like, I haven't made it through all the way. Like, I make it through the first boss, but you get power-ups every time you die, and you can get currency in the game. You can buy things when you get back to the lair after you die. Wow, this is addictive. So I almost think I'm curious. I guess I need more of you guys to play this. It's also $30. It was a digital download. There's no physical copy yet. But this might be worth some of your guys' time. I really like Shredder's Revenge, the one they put out a couple years ago. But dang, this is right up there. So I was playing this with my son. It was easy for him to pick up. So here's me facing, I think this is the second boss by myself. But if you get more people online with you, I think it's even easier to take off to beat this game. So yeah.
But what about Elden Ring? Have you left that one behind?
Oh yeah, I stopped.
Did ya?
Man, yeah,
Speaking of being expecting to die, right? Like it's a
Right.
little ironic to jump into a game that flat out says, "Okay, we'll let you die a bunch."
they're showing videos now on some guy showed his video on Twitter today of him beating the final boss in Elden Ring, the expansion,
Mhm.
with basically no armor and level 1, like the first level.
Yeah,
in the
that
game.
old challenge,
He's
right? Yeah.
He's like naked,
Yeah.
and it takes him 30 minutes to beat the final boss, but he does it.
But is
Holy-
he cheesing it with that? I had read that there was a way of cheesing some potion, right? That basically there isn't a limit of the potions available in the game, and you can just demolish the end boss with it like easy.
I don't think he ever gets hit.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, I posted on my Twitter if anyone wants
Okay.
to look at it.
Elite Korean's on the second playthrough, so
Yeah, good job,
beat
Elite
it.
Korean.
Yeah.
It's right here. Oh, the
I
guy
still-
is his Twitter name is Gino Machino.
Okay.
31 minutes and 9 seconds of
when I
beating
first
Cornsort
joined the
Radon.
podcast, maybe our second episode, I said that I have very mixed feelings about Elden Ring.
Right,
and
right.
And that still stands. And so my whole like whenever I've thought about it, because you get kind of that, the media gets to you a little bit where you start kind of getting this fear of missing out, And what's interesting, I figured for sure that would happen with this and that I would pick it up and maybe it would just collect dust for a while until I got around to playing it. But the media's kind of silent on it lately. Like it was before launch, it was up there. And then right when it launched, everybody was like, it is excellent. And then kind of just died down to where now it's not like really on my radar much until I remember that you have it and I haven't heard you talking about playing it. So I thought, okay, maybe that difficulty, review that I've heard is accurate.
Yeah,
right?
it is. I think. Yeah, I think I'm just more disappointed in there's no achievements and trophies.
Oh, so that is.
I'm really addicted to that. And
okay.
So I don't know. It's like I could beat more of the game, but like there's no. I guess I'd have to share a video that I actually did it. But do you even know that I actually did it? There's that thing. So I don't know. I'm glad Elite Korean sounds like you're having a fun time with it. Chris, I don't know if you're still playing it.
Yeah, I was going to ask Chris.
Yeah, I jumped into the DLC and I actually posted a video on my channel because I was playing fighting the golden hippopotamus.
Okay.
And
yeah,
it glitched out. I got stuck and I was healing and it pushed my character out of the arena and back to the area before you go in to fight the boss. But I had summoned somebody, and so he was still fighting the boss, but I was outside of the boss arena. And when the guy got killed, like summons started popping up again. So I was able to summon more people than I was supposed to be able to. But then I could go back in, and it was just like I went back in with a second person and just barely managed to beat that stupid thing. But it was the funniest thing ever because it was like I was trying to heal myself and then suddenly I'm out of the arena fighting the boss.
Yeah. So what I didn't like about Elden Ring, and I wonder if how much of that is present in this, was the bosses that I actually had the most difficulty with were not the ones that were advertised that people were like, oh, this one is really hard. Oh, this one is really hard. I mean, for sure, the one that everybody talked about, the female one that's hidden away. I forget her name.
Millennia.
Yeah. So for sure that took me multiple tries to get past her. But the ones though that really I felt were unfair were the ones where it was like 2 or 3 against you at once. I felt like those boss battles were actually the most difficult out of there, and people didn't talk much about those. So when I did come across those, I felt extra frustrated because it was like I wasn't told that these would be a thing or that they'd be hard, right? Like I remember
get good.
Yeah, well, and I mean, sure, I beat them all, but it just those ones almost made me quit because I just didn't find it fun. Like I don't know why, because it feels like you're almost button mashing in those too much. Like at least to me, it felt like there was a lot of luck as to whether one of the bosses would kind of ignore you for a little bit, or the timing would get off to where you could get your hits in on one before having to deal with the other one. Yeah, I don't know if the expansion has a lot of those though.
And the one thing that I've noticed with the DLC so far in all the boss fights I've come across is the bosses aren't the hardest fights in the game.
Oh, interesting. It's just the random mobs you come up on. It's
just coming across, like there's a group of enemies that they have a sword that you know, you see them carrying, and it's like, oh yeah, I can dodge it, but the sword is abnormally long. So when you think you're far enough away, they still manage to hit you.
Oh, so the hitbox is off on the thing, huh?
And it's,
or at least on you, it is.
Well, it feels like it is, but yeah, it's just all the enemies. Like, I've spent more time running through areas, just to get to the bosses, because I'm like, I'm sick of running through an area just trying to kill enemies, and then I get murdered by one stray.
Alikrian, it was both of those. Those are the two. Now that you mentioned them, those are the two that gave me the most like, I wouldn't say difficulty in the game. I just didn't like it. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but like with Millennia, even though I was dying, I was like, okay, this is fair. I just have to figure this out. With the Godskin duos and the Crystal Guardians, I felt like, I don't know why, but I felt like it was just not, that it was almost down to luck as well as, yeah, almost just down to luck, I guess, is kind of the way. I did beat them. I just was like, when they were over, I was like, okay, I never want to do that again. Moving on, sort of thing. Yeah. And then the Crystal Guard. Yeah, like I said, those are those two battles that you list. Those are the ones that I was talking about. Yeah. And then changing to a heavier poise damage weapon. See, that's what I suck about with any of these games. I am very much I start and I build my character one way, and then it's hell or high water, I won't change it.
Yeah.
A total weakness on my part, and somebody told me that was the trick to Elden Ring and games like that, is keeping different sets of armor, different weapons, things like that, and then knowing, oh, you're up against this boss, it's time to change. I don't know why, but for some reason my brain is like, no, screw that. I'm still going to beat it the way that I was equipped when I came into this thing.
When I first started the DLC, I went in and I, stat wise, I had everything pretty much equal across the board. But the weapon I was using was a dexterity build, and I was like, I'm like, I don't understand. So I went online, and somebody's like, this is where your stats need to be for this to actually work. And so I went to Renala, the queen that you have to fight.
Yep.
She can redo your stats. And so I had my stats rebuilt, and then I went back into the DLC, like the starting area where it was like taking me 4 or 5 hits to kill an enemy. With that change, it then became 1 hit and I could kill anyone.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, I kind of understand, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't get it.
I think that old school mentality for me, just to wrap it up, I guess that old school mentality to me, I guess it makes sense because I grew up playing D&D, and you couldn't respec in D&D when you came up against something. And since these games kind of feel like they're role-playing game-esque, I just don't think like, oh, I'm going to completely change everything out about my character who was a fighter. Now they're going to become like a thief-like character and use dex weapons and things like that. My brain just doesn't think that way when I'm playing a game that is an RPG type game, I guess.
Well, and that's, I mean, it's been so long since I've started Elden Ring to begin with. I know with Dark Souls, it was depending on which class you picked and everything, it had your higher specs for like your strength or your dexterity or everything. Like they kind of expected you to build up that class as, you know, a fighter or a mage or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, it's definitely one of those.
It's just a different game style. You know what I mean? Like it's a different mentality when you're playing these games. And I had to keep that in mind as I was going through Elden Ring. It took a while for me to learn that. Somebody explained it to me. They're like, dude, you're going about this wrong. Go get some different armor, change it, like that sort of thing, right? But yeah, I didn't mean to sidetrail us entirely from good game news. I just was curious what your guys' view was on it, because everything is quieted down on that game as far as what I see, right? And it's one of the biggest PC games I would expect out now, right? But on the front, it's just kind of, and that was it.
Yep, I agree.
Well, and with that, you talk about the FTC and their whole statement about Xbox raising their Game Pass subscription service.
Oh,
well, we talked about that last week, but
but we didn't. I mean, they put out their statement, and I was kind of like, well, where's the statement for Netflix? Where's the statement for Disney Plus? Where's the statement for any service that starts out at a low amount and then they start raising the rates?
Well, they're mad at Microsoft for doing this latest merger.
Yeah,
and they lost that. So that's the whole thing. And they're vindictive.
Mm-hmm.
They probably need to go after Microsoft for this CrowdStrike shit. But that'd be there's so much stuff in the world that Microsoft has so much control over. It's ridiculous now. But I guess that's a whole nother show. But I wanted to talk about some of the other controllers that were announced. Or at least one. You want to talk about this one? Let's see. Yeah. I'll make the video. There we go. So I don't know, Travis, if you were on one of the first videos we did where there was what was that controller, Chris? That was a special.
It was X-Men 97 was one of them.
Right. So this is the Deadpool special edition controller that looks sweet. Like it's got a bud on it. I would get it, but nope. The only way to get it is if you can win their stupid sweepstakes. What a joke! And I hate how they do that.
How much money is Microsoft leaving on the table by not releasing these controllers?
Absolutely.
Even if they were to turn around and say, okay, because of the extra assets that we're adding to this, we have to charge $100 for it instead of the $69.99.
Right.
It's I reposted because I'm just like, I'll do this just for the hell of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the most reposted contests Microsoft has done. People are clearly willing to spend the money to buy something like this, even if it's just a joke. And the fact that they're only going to release one as part of a contest, it's like, how much money are you? Nobody's having to pay to join the contest. So how much money are you guys losing by not selling this controller? Is the offset from the advertising for this enough that they're kind of like, yeah, we can keep doing things like this because people are going out and they're buying Xbox systems, they're buying games, they're buying the controllers, even though they can't get this one that they really want. I mean, I don't understand it.
Maybe you can get it if it's on eBay for so many. I feel like those guys in the Microsoft controller lab or whatever division that is, man, they're like, they probably get one. I bet you, the people that work there, but everyone else, you just shit out of luck. So
I mean, it is interesting though that they launched the controller lab, but when I looked at the controller lab, there wasn't a lot you could do to the controllers that you were designing yourself.
I did one where it was I made mine a custom one that looked like an Xbox 360 controller.
Okay,
that was a couple years ago. It looked pretty cool. So
okay,
but nothing to this extent though.
Right. Nothing completely wild is what I'm getting about. You could kind of mix some things up, right? Add paddles, basically make variations of controllers that exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. Boo hoo, Microsoft. Like, I don't agree with you guys still doing this, and we'll still cover these. And maybe any publicity is good publicity, but I
Well,
don't know.
who knows? Maybe if enough people come out and they're just like, dude, release it. You know, unchain the Deadpool controller. I mean, that looks ergonomically correct for me to hold in my hands.
The dream is dead.
But it was the X-Men 97. They had those controllers,
Oh,
and you could
I would
only,
have loved to have an X-Men 97 controller.
it's, I just don't, and I have a degree in business, and so it's like, as part of my head is just like, I can't wrap around why any business would be like, yeah, we don't want the money that we could get off of something like this.
Right. A business's first objective should be, how can we make money? How can we put money to our bottom line? How can we make our stockholders happy? Well, this is one way. Sell products.
There's your bottom line right there.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
So,
But
yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's Microsoft is. It seems like as far as marketing goes, they do sometimes have quite a few hits on their hands, but they don't capitalize on those hits.
Now, one company, I'm going to transition there. I talked about this controller last week. I'm going to mute it so I don't get a copyright strike again. But this is now available for pre-order right now, guys. I am going to get this. It looks dope. The original Xbox Touch S controller. Beautiful. Got dynamic impulse triggers, tactile feedback.
I saw this, yeah.
So that's the only gripe, is it's wired, but yeah, $50.
But it's huge. It's huge, like the original Xbox controller, huh?
The one that's a little smaller.
Oh, it's the one that was a little smaller. Okay.
Right. This is not the one that came with the console. Maybe they did a version that it did come with, but it seems like I remember this was the one where people really started playing Halo with it. Competitively, because they wanted a little smaller one.
No, I don't. Obviously, there weren't any dynamic tactile stuff. The two buttons that are below the four up there, those weren't there, right?
No, the white and black, they were absolutely there.
Were
they? It's the two that are on the left.
Oh yeah, okay.
Those buttons weren't there.
Right, those buttons weren't there either. But I thought the ones on the right weren't there either.
No, the black and white one were.
What were they for?
They were your LB and RB.
Right.
So with the new control,
because you didn't have them, right?
Yeah, so it was your right trigger, left trigger, and then RB, LB. But
I think that on playing Halo, like you hit that white button at the bottom, that one turned on your flashlight. Maybe I'm losing it.
No, I forget. I totally forget, because once the 360 came out, I forgot all about. You know what I mean? You learn something new at that point.
It's wild to me that it's a wired controller with a detachable.
Yeah,
maybe next year they come up with the wireless one and we buy that too. So
I wish that I've been playing just strictly with the Dual Sense or whatever they call that, the PlayStation 5 controller. Like that's the one that I've been playing with exclusively, because I am better for some random reason at first-person shooters with it. Even though my console gaming has almost entirely been with Xbox, if not entirely with Xbox, minus the GameCube for a little bit. For some reason, when I switched to the PlayStation with the location of the uncomfortable location of the thumbsticks, I'm better at first-person shooters. So now I've been using that exclusively, and now I've grown to like it. But they don't do any of the lab stuff with that. Like, you're pretty much just stuck with what Sony's got.
Yeah. Whatever Sony decides to release, that's what you kind of buy.
I wish that they would go, because they're making changes. Like, I mean, obviously they're porting Sony games over to PC. I wish that they'd kind of step up a little bit in the controller area, because it'd be kind of nice to have. I don't know why. I guess it's just the gear acquisition in me, where I just want a shiny new toy. And controller's a big part of it, right? It's a big part of our
Oh,
gaming experience.
speaking of other stuff, I want to share my
Yeah.
screen here. Yeah, here we go. Can you guys see that?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So Nintendo just announced that this is coming out. What are your guys' thoughts on a standalone like USB charging thing for Switch? Like now that the system's almost done, this is getting put out there that it's coming out in October or something.
So when you say it's almost done, what do you mean by that? Like,
Well,
do you think
the new Switch is coming.
Switch? Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was announced, right?
Well, it hasn't been officially announced, but it's coming
It has
out.
not been.
They're
Okay.
going to announce it this fiscal year or whatever it's coming out. So
then it's got the current Switch has about a year before the new one comes out. Is that how that rolls, or 2 years?
yeah, maybe it comes out next fall. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. This is the longest
Generation,
cycle between Nintendo systems with the Switch.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. So usually at this point, the previous longest one I think was 6 years. This one's going on 7. So
Okay.
if the Switch 2 is announced next year, it will be 8 years between the Switch and the Wii U.
Okay. I mean, the reason to have this would be because you've got like 4 controllers, right? For party games and things like that. That's why you would need something like this, right?
Well, the
funny thing is, you can buy, like, these have been out for quite a while. Third party companies have had charging docks for Joy-Cons, so it was kind of like,
I see. It's too little, too late.
Well, it's just kind of why they waited till now to kind of announce this.
Again, companies like money, right? Well, yeah. Why didn't they do this 5 years ago? But the theory that I'm hearing is that maybe it's an accessory that can be used on the new Switch, because
that's what Alikrian's saying. Yeah,
the new Switch is going to use magnets or something to hook on the Joy-Cons to, and the old ones won't be compatible with it. So the only way you're going to be able to charge your old Joy-Cons is to plug it in via USB. So we'll see. We'll see if that's true. It's very possible. I'd like to think Nintendo knows what they're doing. So I found that bit of news that's coming out very interesting from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some interesting ones. I mean, just looking on Amazon, they've got some various like charging docks for controllers. They've got add-ons for the Nintendo dock where you can put games and the controllers and charge them. I mean, and it's wild. Some of these have been out for 5 years. And so it's just, Nintendo now announcing this and doing this.
Yeah, the system's 7 years old, isn't it? So
yeah. So
I didn't realize they released consoles that quickly, but it makes sense looking back to my high school years and all of that, like how seemingly within a period of 4 years, people went through like 2 different Nintendos. Like I can remember as a sophomore, my friend being like, "Oh, I got to go get this," and then it seemed like 2 years before that, right? To your point, he was like, "Oh, I finally got this," or "I got this new console." So yeah, you're right; they were quicker to come out.
Well, and consoles have always been, in my opinion, the best way to do gaming, only because the cycle for PCs for a while there, it was like every 6 months, if you weren't upgrading your PC components, video card and everything, you weren't up to date. Whereas
Yeah.
a console could go 4 or 5 years before you needed to upgrade to the next one because they were still
Yeah.
utilizing it.
Right.
But I think we've hit a point now where even with the PC market, you can have a gaming system and it will work for you for 5-6 years. So
Yep.
it's similar to consoles at this point. It's not moving as fast as it used to.
No, but you know what bothers me actually about consoles, and I don't know because I don't have one right now. I don't have a PS5 and I don't have a new Xbox. But one of the turnoffs to the PS5 when I thought about getting one, yeah, one of the turnoffs when I thought about getting one, when there were more games that were exclusive before they started porting everything, was that I read that you can now change settings in console games, and to me, that's actually a turnoff. Because what I did like about my time with the Xbox 360 and the Xbox was I didn't fiddle like I do with my PC. Because what I like about my PC is that's my race car. I'm always working, always in the shop, and I'm always like making sure that I'm beating somebody when it comes to some sort of a frame rate competition, as dumb as that is, right? But that's my hobbyist thing. What I liked about the Xbox and the Xbox 360 was I just put the disc in and I just sat down and played. I didn't do anything with settings. And then
Ain't nobody got time for that.
PS5, you can, right? Like if you want to run at 4K 60, now you got to worry about it, right?
Well, and it's more, you can still do that with the consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox. It's just when you start up the game now, they kind of are like, would you like to have this game in performance mode, or would you like to play this in frame rate mode or something else? Like Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5 was like, it had the couple different options. One where the game would always run at 60 frames per second, but it would like reduce some of the other ones. But it's not as in depth as like the PC when it comes to like changing your settings and everything. Unless, of course, you're one of those people who, you know, you pop open the system and you're going into the user interface and you're messing with all of that and overclocking the system. But I mean, they'd even announced a PS5 Pro back in January. And they'd put out the specs for it. And I had seen somebody talking about it the other day. It was like, without having exclusives on the PS5, what's the point of a PS5 Pro? Because nobody's going to utilize the extra power and everything
because of the implication. Because of the implication.
That's why.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, I guess if it gives you a performance boost that you'd see, then that would be something I'd be into.
But if if they don't have the exclusives and you're releasing games, this is the same issue that a lot of people are saying with the Xbox Series X versus the Series S, where Microsoft was telling companies that if you're going to release the game on the Series X, it has to be parity wise with the Series S. So you can't fully utilize the Series X system because the Series S is underpowered.
Gotcha.
And so I think that's the issue. A lot of people are saying with the PS5 Pro is because they're not going to have, exclusives coming out by Sony, that third-party developers are going to try and make whatever they make for the PS5 because there's more of those consoles out. So they're not going to fully utilize the power that would come with the Pro. And so you kind of, I mean, I don't know. It would be interesting to see if it's worth it for them to release something much more powerful. But
the dream is dead.
Yep.
Ryan and a soundboard.
I think it's alive. I mean, if they're tinkering with that idea of adding multiple SKUs and going after somebody who wants performance and wants to be able to run everything at max, to your marketing point before, they might as well take it, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's minor variations they've got to do on the line to get these things out, I'm guessing. But yeah, it is interesting. Like I said, it was a turnoff to me because I've already got a PC and I already have to tinker with game settings. Now, what's funny is on the PC side of things, if you can stomach it, the NVIDIA control panel automatically optimizes your games. So in a way, gaming on a PC has become basically what it used to be on a console for me. Because I just load it, and NVIDIA, if you've got the latest game ready driver, or if they've updated their database, is really the bigger thing as to what optimal modes are. It flat out says, okay, you've got Red Dead Redemption with your video card, your processor, and your system. Do you want me to optimize the game for you? And you just say yes, boot the game, and it's going to be optimized for your system. Right. So it to me, that feels more like a console than what I was hearing the PlayStation 5 experience was like. Because you don't ask any questions. There isn't like a frame rate or do I want more detail? They're just more like, this is the best for you. I've told you. And then you just start playing the game, right? Less in the music world, with music gear, we call it option paralysis. Right? Like if you've got 3 guitars there and you're ready to record a song, you've got too many options, right? Have the producer get rid of 2 and only give you the Fender and make your song, right? Like that's kind of the trick in the music world. And it feels like in the console world, if you have too many options, I think I would get stuck going like, well, let's try 30 minutes of the game like this, and let's try 30 like this. And then it's like, well, why don't I just play on my PC then at that point if I'm back into that whole rabbit's hole, right? But yeah, it's interesting. I almost got a console this week because of NCAA. That's my admission.
Really?
It almost did because we were talking about it last week, and you said, "Well, just go get a console, and then you can play with us." And and then I thought like, well, I haven't played football in a long time.
Well, I did upgrade.
Happened.
I had an Xbox One X, and I upgraded to the Series X because Best Buy had a deal where it was $50 off. Plus, you got a $50 gift card. And then if you bought college football, you also got a $5 gift card. With that one. But I was like, oh, I wonder if I bundle it. And so I was like, oh, let's check out their bundle. So they had the bundle, exact same price, but the bundle only gave you the $50 off. So you didn't get the gift cards with the bundle, but by doing them separately, I was like, oh, it was an extra $55 essentially off to buy it that way.
I'm your huckleberry.
What about trading in your previous console as well? They do hardware trades now at Best Buy.
They do, but with that one, it was only like the special editions is what they were taking in.
Okay.
But I was able to turn around and sell it like the same day that I bought the new one. Somebody online was like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
I bet.
But yeah, I started playing that college football game today and beat Washington State 64-0.
Well, are you ready? Are you ready for some better competition, Chris? Because let's get it on.
Well, I don't know, Garage Gamer. It looks like you have to focus on your learning some defensive skills if you're getting handled by the Beavers that much.
Yeah. That's probably my one weakness right now is I need to figure out
playing defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what everybody ignores in the football simulations is they're like, I'll just pick and then hope that works and then just hands off. I always notice that, like back in the college days.
Yeah, no,
that was embarrassing.
I kept Washington State to 12 total yards.
Nice.
The entire game.
What an ugly thing to say.
I started to figure out, that's the only problem playing against the computer is you can kind of slowly figure out how they're going to do their plays and everything.
What play calls, yeah. I mean, did you just run blitzes the entire time? That used to be the trick in like one of the NCAA games.
No, I just did man coverage the entire game.
Yeah, okay, there you go. And just batted down passes nonstop.
Yeah, so he couldn't even pass the ball. I kept sacking him.
Right. Yeah.
So
funny.
It'll be really interesting when we start playing people online because I want to do that. And
what difficulty were you at? Just real quick.
I can't remember. I know I wasn't at the basic. I was at. I think I was like the middle.
Okay.
I'd have to go back I'd have to go back and look because I don't think I changed the whatever it
Just the
started me at it.
default.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
But-
sure.
It seems like back in the day, if you had a running quarterback,
Mhm.
people would really try to exploit you trying to run. And I need to figure out what play stops that, because I know people online are going to try to run with their quarterback. So if I can figure that out, I'm sure I will. Usually I find like a defensive play where like the defensive ends come down on both sides. That
Mhm.
usually stops them, and then people start rage quitting on me. Once I find that play, I know it's out there. It's in the game somewhere. I gotta find
Oh
it.
yeah.
Then checkmate, you guys. So I'll be ready. There's also an achievement in
Or
the
just
game.
dirty play and take their quarterback out. Can you still
Oh, yeah.
you can still cause injuries in the game, right?
Oh, you can absolutely cause injuries.
Yeah, so just throw a bruiser at the running quarterback and then they're stuck. If that's what they're going to play, right? What do you care?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is just hockey it at that point.
But it's a
These
cat
aren't
and
real
mouse
people.
game.
Yeah.
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 So
I mean that's the trick. I mean that in real football, that's the fear, right? Is that if you've got a running quarterback, you're one play away from your season being over, right? Like that's always the fear, especially as these guys get into the NFL. Luckily,
Well,
not
teams play hard,
it
man.
hasn't come to fruition that very often that has happened. Oddly enough, it's always the old guys that stay in the pocket that end up with these season ending injuries, right? But yeah, that's interesting. So most online people go with the option, huh?
I haven't played anyone online in this game yet, but we'll see. It would be fun to, now that we're the old folks in the game, we'll beat up on some of these newbies. So yeah, might be fun. Or we could get our ass kicked by a 5-year-old. So
Yeah, it was
that too.
interesting walking in to pick it up today. The guy
Yeah.
was like, "You're the first one to get the Xbox version. All I've had is PS5 versions bought."
Well, I would have got it probably on PlayStation 5, but I don't want to play for that damn multiplayer. So
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the reason why I'm getting like my multiplayer games on Xbox, is because I have Game Pass already. I don't want to play for PlayStation Plus right now. That's the only way to play multiplayer, is if you have that PlayStation Plus. If you don't have it, you're shit out of luck. So
really? I didn't
yeah.
know that.
So
That's lame.
that's kind of why I've kind of pushed you guys to do that, to get that version. So I appreciate
So
it.
internet gaming. So now, can you cross-platform that way though? Can you cross if I've got the PS5 version, can I play against you on the Xbox, or are we console?
Yes,
specific?
you can.
Okay.
And I thought that was kind of weird because when I did load it up
Mhm.
and it starts going through the options, the only one you can't change, at least I wasn't able to, was the crossplay. It was auto enabled.
Okay.
It was grayed out, so it wouldn't let me change the option to say no, I don't want to play against people on other systems.
Okay.
Okay. And I thought that was kind of a strange thing. I don't know if it's because they're trying to figure things out with it right now. Because I'd also read that
So it was an option. It was just grayed out.
it's just grayed out, so you
Yeah,
couldn't do
okay.
anything with it. But I'd also read that my teams wasn't working today either on it, and I haven't checked. I haven't checked that out, so I don't know if they got that working or if it's still not available.
That is so strange. I mean, it's not that. I mean, I immediately thought that it would be something like an agreement between EA Sports and Microsoft and Sony, where they said, "Hey, we won't allow people to pick one or the other. We'll try to level the playing field by just making it cross-platform without any bias towards either." In case somebody was like, "Oh, well, I don't want to play against people on the PS5 or on the Xbox. Take your pick, because that machine performs better and they've got a competitive advantage against me."
Now, what I might do is when the PlayStation 5 version drops in price, I might pick it up just so I can get the trophies in this game, because I will say the trophies do not look that difficult to get. There are only 15 of them, and if you're like a 100% completionist, some of you are like, to get the platinum trophy on PlayStation, you have to get all of them. These trophies do not look that difficult, you guys. So just saying, the game is going to drop in price. Probably it'll really drop around Christmas or January. So I might pick it up again then. So we'll see. But I've already gotten
It
like
does.
6 or
It does
7.
look good.
Yeah. So
Well, it's running off the Frostbite engine, which was Dice's Battlefield engine that they created. So, I mean, as far as those games have always gone, they've always looked really well.
Okay.
They've just had major issues because they're optimized to look good, but not really play too well.
the cheerleaders don't look that good. Why didn't they optimize the cheerleaders?
Oh, the cheerleaders look like they have massive legs.
What an ugly thing to say.
And then if you look at the fans, like in the stadiums, they kind of look like they're a lower quality.
Well, the fans of Oregon State are a little right here. They are a little lower quality people, anyway, right? So this guy's got a like a ponytail or something. Oh, they're all pissed. They're all sad. I used to work in Corvallis on game day, and man, after a loss, like everyone was so dejected. Anyway, like there's nothing else going on in Corvallis, so I'm sorry. But yeah, back to the cheerleader. Like, yeah, why don't they look good?
I mean,
anyway,
they've done a pretty good job as far as the game that I played today and everything. I thought that the controls were smooth. So I mean, so far I haven't seen anything that makes me go, "Oh, this could be an issue."
Have you shown? Does your dad ever come by? Because your dad and my dad used to be season ticket holders, and I'm curious what they think of the game.
I mean, he'll be here on Sunday.
Yeah, you should show it to him.
So I can show him.
My father-in-law is a season ticket holder at Oregon State, and every time that I show him a game like this, or he sees it, it always brings up a conversation of, oh, I'm going to get one of those consoles so I can. That looks like a good new hobby for me to have, and I swear
he never does. Right.
But it's like every time we have that conversation lasts for like hours. He asks me about about The Last of Us, anything that's been turned into a TV show, right? Or anything that has been, turned into a movie. Ask me about that. Oh, I could learn that. And back in the day, I used to play Pac-Man and blah, blah, all this stuff, right? And then to 6 months later, I'm over at his place and I'm like, hey, did you pick up one of those PlayStations we talked about? Oh, no, I haven't gotten around to that yet. I plan on doing that like when I, whatever. And yeah, every time, nothing.
Oh, speaking of TV shows, Chris, did you see that the Halo TV show was canceled or not picked up by Paramount Plus?
Yeah,
I saw that myself. Yeah.
No more Master Cheeks.
We're
just not.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, I stopped watching after the first season. Maybe the second season got better, but man, I think they just need to have writers that played the game. Like, sounds like it's just like that's not what happened in the game. So you're gonna piss off the fan base, and that's what they did.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing about it too. Is they looked at it and they said, "Hey, this is what we want to do," and it was like, and we're gonna call it Halo, and it's like, nah, how about you do something else or call it something else, because clearly this isn't Halo.
So it reminds me of like horror. Right? In the horror genre in like the 90s, what would happen is they'd make these sequels to these movies that weren't really sequels to the movies.
Yeah,
started out as something else, and they're like, well, what if we call it a Friday the 13th Part 7, right? And we'll take the idea that you had originally, but to get it made and greenlit, we're just going to throw it here. I wonder if Halo was that way.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they just wanted to get it out there as quick as possible.
And they
Or
waited.
that they had to brand
waited
it, right?
too long to do it.
Yeah, that's
What
another thing
is
too.
going on up here?
Doesn't
never know,
doesn't
man.
that series seem like has there been teeth to that series in the last 10 years? Like, has there been traction in the gaming world with the Halo stuff? It's
Well,
kind of
I feel like Halo Infinite, man, they really tried to hit a home run and they came up pretty short. So
yeah. So like you're saying, like 10 years too late, right?
I enjoyed the game, but it wasn't.
Mhm.
I don't think it was the breakout hit that Microsoft thought it would be. So,
Right.
and I believe they laid off quite a few people over at 343 this year.
Mm.
So we'll see. I mean, I hope they make another Halo game. I'm sure they will eventually, but
There's
yeah, not good, not good.
there's the Halo fans that really every time a new Halo game was announced, they were excited for it, and then it came out, and that excitement just died off. And then the next one was announced, and people were like, "Yeah, this is going to be the one that brings us back to the glory days," and just never happened.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was thinking about the original Halo, like the first moment you meet the Flood in the original Halo.
Oh, so
was
good.
Such an epic moment in gaming.
You had no idea that was coming either, unless you'd saw it. This was before YouTube or whatever,
Yeah, you didn't have any of that.
Yeah,
well,
amazing.
yeah. I mean, we could see stuff through game walkthroughs or whatnot, but that was about it, right?
Right. So,
but yeah, and they've never managed to. I think Halo Reach was probably the next best one in that series.
Do you remember those other those end of some of those Halo games where you got to get on the Warthog and you got to drive off before the ship explodes and you have to jump off and do these, crazy stunts? It's like so good. They knew what they were doing back in the day. So
yeah, there were a lot of games like that.
Yeah.
The Uncharted series has moments in it. Last of Us, I think, has some, not a whole lot, but you just don't get that with a lot of games nowadays. There's no.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
There's no real like big mystery because new game comes out, people post walkthroughs online, videos, and if you hit that algorithm just wrong on anything, it's like you're gonna get.
You get the
like the House of the Dragon's a good one. I haven't caught up to that series, but it's like go on YouTube and it's a minefield where it's like, oh, this person was killed in the most recent episode, and I'm like, I haven't watched it yet.
That's funny.
So
I'm sure. Yeah. House of the Dragon is a great show, man. We watched the latest.
That's what they say, but it's so I haven't seen Game of Thrones, and I didn't. All that I had heard about with House of Dragons was that it wasn't any good. But then the people that I heard that from now have changed their tune and said, well, if you get to the new season, it actually turns really good.
Yeah, no.
Is that right?
I think the first season is maybe it
really
starts
good?
off slow, but
okay,
it really. I think it really delivers, and it's based. I guess George R.R. Martin, he did have a book on this series. I didn't read it, but man, it's good. It's good.
So I watched through the first season, and I wasn't like wholly invested in it, but I also understood that they were trying to build up like all the characters, everything that was going on. So the first season isn't. It's if you watched Game of Thrones, where Game of Thrones had a lot of like action going on amongst all the subterfuge, the assassinations, and everything else going on. The House of Dragons is a slower burn, but everything I've seen so far,
the payoff is good.
Second season is
your payoff basically is what these guys were saying.
Yeah, it's building up and everything. So
agreed.
The only problem is the Game of Thrones TV series once you've watched through it, because of that ending. It just like kills anything.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
think
know,
there's like some replay value. Like, I don't know if I ever want to watch the episodes ever again, but
yeah, I mean the entire purpose of the show was building up to one thing, and it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
the end season of the original show was a letdown. So yeah, maybe they're trying to redeem themselves a little bit. So hopefully that doesn't happen and they don't jump the shark. So anyway, we're getting near the end. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we go? Good
No,
show.
I think I'm gonna fire up the PC and see if I can get some gaming in tonight.
Cool. Chris, let's get some college football going, and we can play. We can show some video next week. Huh? What do you say?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go see Twisters on Sunday.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, I gotta check out whether or not the Two Twisters makes it a better movie.
Oh, and does Deadpool come out next week?
July 27th?
Is that next week?
26th? So yeah, next Friday.
Cool.
Next Friday.
Maybe
and then,
we can see that before the show next. Well, if it's Friday,
is it Alien Romulus comes out in
Alien Romulus is
August?
in August.
So
yeah, that looks good too.
It's
gonna be good movie season.
We're gonna have some good movies.
Yeah, hopefully Deadpool's good. Anyway, let's end it there. Thanks everybody for sticking through. We have a few viewers on YouTube, so I appreciate you, and that one bot on Twitch that I never promote. But thank you for being there, bro.
Yeah. It's your friend, even when you don't want it.
I don't even promote that Twitch. Now that we're not on X, maybe I need to push it a little more.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay Elon. If you guys want to super chat me $10 a month, I will, and maybe we can do Elon Musk on X again. But I don't know, man. It's that one thing where Eric, when he was on, he talks about these companies giving you these services, and then they slowly take it away. They slowly take it away, and you're like, do I really want it? Anyway.
Yep.
All right. Go follow Asa Jack's Media Grounds on YouTube. Still doing some. You were showing some gameplay. Looks like yesterday of some a game you've been playing, and movie reviews and stuff like that, right, Chris?
Yep.
Cool. And Instagram, and give this show a like. Whatever channel you're on, consider subscribing to both our channels, and we'll see you next week for sure. That's all we got, guys.
Boom shakalaka!